Hey everyone, XylaTakura here, hope you're all okay and well. Today we are back with some more Danganronpa. So, we've just found Sakura. It's investigation time. Also, the hat is back again. Having a hair day issue, so the hat is back. The hat. Let's go. I better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. Okay. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. What the hell happened? I mean, you've got to be insane to try and take down the mountain of that is Sakura.
Hey.
I think the case this time might be a challenge. Telling me. Why is that?
So...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. And that door has been jammed shut with the chair from inside the rec room. Which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right?
In other words,
this is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before our very eyes like this?
Hey.
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This may involve some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches including a string or a simple mechanism, there are a number of variations. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh?
In other words,
basically the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun, you shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
However...
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list.
It's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
In other words...
They stay hidden, and when the door is opened, they can use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been possible, maybe.
It's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room.
In other words...
By that, I mean there actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality, it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too?
Indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to the locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities. Then, Kyoko, which of those 4 choices seem the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room, until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. Right, let's have a look. See what we got. This looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
Ah, that's... Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well,
yeah. I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. Odd to have that yellowed, but okay. You really like them that much?
'Cause, I mean...
But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now, they've lost all their flavor. You know. Polka dot candy wrapper. Okay, bear that in mind. No one else had the sweets other than her. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red and there are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. Huh? There's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. Is that Monokuma riding a knight's horse from a chess piece? It's a Monokuma figure. Okay, that's added to my truth bullets? What? What is this? There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? I don't know, dude. I don't think there's any way of us knowing. It's a toughie. Sakura drew her last breath, sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her, but according to the Monokuma file, she also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? I doubt that very much. Not a chance. It would be Akuya.
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on the most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. Let's talk to some peeps.
What the heck?
We already know who did it.
I won't forgive you.
The Akuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more info. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? Why didn't you tell us this first, Hina? What are you doing? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually, she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me, she said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon? The Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her, by force even, this never would have happened. Hina, it's impossible not to have regrets, I know. What did you want to meet with them for? Who knows? But the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she'd asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying, it might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. Sounds like a good idea. Let's go to Tokyo.
However...
But for Sakura to have been killed, yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
It's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken it by surprise, right?
Certainly.
They would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her. Let's go to the Apia.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true? I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? You didn't go to see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura at all today. The Aki says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. What an asshole. Right, there's this on the floor. You know? There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance of the rec room.
So...
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can, it's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem Lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. Huh? What is?
Hey,
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can, they're also underneath it. Why does that matter?
So...
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take a note of that. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. An important clue? I'm not sure I see how. Sorry if you hear any noises. People are busy doing stuff in the house. That's what happens when you live with your family. Okay, do I need to check anything else? Oh, it's from over here. Oh, and it's got one of the figurines in it. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle there's some kind of Monokuma figure. Queen, bishop, castle, pawn. So the king's missing and the knight is on the floor. Don't hold me to these. This is just a guess. The one on the end either has to be the queen or the king. I'm assuming queen by the height, because it's tall, and the queen is always taller than the king. Could be wrong. I don't know. I'm just guessing. What I'm wondering is, how did they get those figures inside the bottles? That's not important.
So...
It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle. Huh? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You've never seen that? Oh, yeah. Maybe I have.
in other words...
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. Nice. There are 2 missing, though. I feel like I'm starting to make sense of things little by little. The Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shells of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. Holy cow, what the hell happened? Huh? The locker's open and they're on the inside. It's a handprint?
Why?
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in there until the locked room was opened, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Huh? Why not?
Hey,
think back, before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
Indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then, what does this handprint mean? I think someone was kept in there. Maybe Sakura kept someone in there. Look, a handprint. That same shelf full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. Okay, so we don't need to... Door? I don't know. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened of course when I broke in to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. I think we need to go and talk to Toko and... Oh, I need to examine the crime scene as much as possible. But surely we've seen everything. Chair. The chair was shoved up. Oh, the chair was shoved up against the doorknob so we couldn't get in the door. There's no evidence of any kind of string or mechanism used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. There was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with, or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. Okay.
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part.
So then...
Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
Listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's gone a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right, I do have to go and talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Okay, I can't leave the generic way. I have to leave with the magical R button. Let me leave! I need to go and find the other 2. Those other 2 probably went back to their rooms. Thank you for teleporting me there. Toko. I know where Hero's door's further down. I press the doorbell. In a few seconds.
Who's there?
The most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall. Lol.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something. If it's something indecent, get ready for a sexual harassment lawsuit. Okay. Oh wait, where did she go? What the... What? 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 Wait. Oh! I was like, where the fuck did she go? What?
What do you want?
Okay. I wanted to talk to you about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you.
Well,
I don't know what you're talking about. Biafia already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said 2, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So can you tell me about it? I admit I did get the note. But I didn't go see her. I was so scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go to see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough for you? Then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into a room. Get your ass back here! I want the indecent part of that. Come here. I wanted to ask her about the indecent part of the conversation. Dagnabbit, right. Heroes down this corridor. Yo, dude, need to talk to you.
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Do you need something? Why is he all the way over here?
You know?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
What?
How did you know about that?
Could it be?
His voice changes all the time, I'm sorry. Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that?
What?
Oh, well...
When
she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, no,
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So you went and met with Sakura?
You got it all wrong!
No way, I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually...
Last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got her, and I took her to the nurse's office.
Don't look at me!
I haven't seen her since then. Well, I'm here. Could you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on!
Sorry. Looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulls his hands out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Hiro! Huh?
What?
Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on!
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me, get your ass back here, you son of a bitch. I know you've been up to something. You've been eating those damn sweets. Hiro said it was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. It's another frigging rapper, dude. I've put that together. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should go and find out more about the protein can we found on the floor in the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where do I start? Chem lab. Where's the chem lab? What floor is the chem lab on? Art room. This floor. Let's go. In we go. I'm gonna have to vacate in a moment to get some light, because it's getting dark. This isn't my first time seeing this shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look at it. Yeah, how about the bottle on the floor? It looks like 3 of the shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilt in front of the shelf? I have to be careful not to step in it. That's poison. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? It looks like the bottle had a label on it. Chem 4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning checking things out, and at that point, this room wasn't like this. Then this powder must have been spilled.
So in other words...
That's right. It could only have been around the time of the incident. If that really is what happened, it must be related to the case somehow. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, is anyone not going to point out the fact that it's got a skull and crossbones on it, which means poison, but okay. Missing out that shelf. On this shelf, one look and I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. These look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter C and a number. Did someone poison Sakura? Because she had Chem C2 on her thing. So I guess I consider this part of the shelf the section C. So on this shelf it looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. How have you lived in such ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss. Isn't that kind of harsh?
What?
You think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world?
That's fine.
The words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suit you well. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labelled with B, labelled with the letter B and a number, so I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here, in which case I don't think I have to worry too much about this shelf. Let's just go through A as well. Let's see, what's on this shelf? There's a Chem C on this shelf. There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from the shelf. All the containers on the shelf are labelled with the letter A and a number, so I guess I consider this part of the shelving unit section A. Huh? But wait! There's one bottle in here that's labelled Chem C9. Could someone have put it here on accident? I should try and find more about this shelving unit. It looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A is dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, and Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. But what concerns me is that in Section A there was a bottle with a label from Section C. What was a bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on here. Okay, so there's not much point in. Wait, can I? Well, what else do I need to check? Oh, the actual chemical and then the footsteps. Okay. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. I better not leave a footprint. Speaking of footprints, these are footprints, and they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? Maybe we need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen.
What?
Just put on it, Byakuya is a bitch, and then show it, but then have the floor plan underneath. Well, let's go. Chop chop. Okay. So I got to work, and before long I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. So, how's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. For me?
I see.
So, when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business in the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to do, and then left. And that's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's certainly possible.
Makoto, are they yours? No?
What?
Okay, then let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see. Your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints. Unfortunately! But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. And these footprints are a really valuable clue. I should probably take a good hard look at the powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor on the shelf. There's also the remains of the broken bottle. It looks like the bottle was labelled Chem C4. It also looks like someone left some footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever it was only went to the left side of the shelf. According to Byakuya, the powder would have had to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. Footprints in the powder. I've already taken a good look at the camp lab. Maybe I should take another look around the rec room. Sounds good to me. Let's leave. First, I suppose we should talk to Byakuya.
I see.
Makoto, I admit you have a good eye for spotting useful clues. But you also need to learn how to make use of those clues. Wow, screw you, dude. Let's leave. I don't need to. Yeah, let's just go. We'll go back to the room. Where's the rec room? The rec room is on this floor, isn't it? Oh, rec room. The rec room is not on this floor, is it? No, it is not on this floor. Oh, that is not what I wanted. Wait, what was that button? Okay. Oh, that's the log thing, so I can read back if I've missed anything. Okay. I need to find... here we go. Let's go! Teleporting! Back in we go.
Hey,
So, Makoto, how's your investigation going? I told Kyoka and what Toko and Hiro had told me.
I see.
So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But that's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway,
Well, I've made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These three things have revealed new clues. You do well to look them over one more time. Aye, aye, ma'am. But first, I'm going to get some light. Because we need some. We need some light on this subject. Because it's getting dark. And making sure there is enough light when the darkness comes is very important. Dramatic narration of me turning on a light and closing my blinds. Courtesy to you all, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. Let's carry on. According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's body.
just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but
Hey,
don't you think you might actually need to actually examine the body?
whew.
There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although there are still some times... I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to
It's
it.
true.
That's totally normal. Then how can you...
So,
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. What? Sorry, never mind.
hey,
More importantly, look here. Her shoes?
correct.
You see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder is clue number 1. Well, I mean, that has her tied to the chem lab. So she went into the leftmost locker?
Hey,
Next is the wound on her head. Look carefully.
It's true.
Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot, so let me just explain.
It would seem...
It would appear she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead she received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's true.
So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Bear that in mind. I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could pull that off. Right, she said I've got to look at the here and then at the bottles. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. Huh? This magazine is upside down. Did someone put it back that way on accident?
Hey,
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. This is... On one of the pages, near the center of the magazine, a word has been written in bold, bloody letters. It said, Toko. Could it be a dying message?
correct.
Then it would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this...
So...
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message.
However...
But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it, for the benefit of others who might come looking. Sakura did not write that note. We've already established that her hands are clean. Unless someone went and scrubbed them clean, which I'm probably sure they didn't have time to do, it just seems odd. Hey, is that... That says Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like
What
it.
the heck?
Then she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
I won't forgive you.
It's settled. She's the killer for sure. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why you'd think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that. Sorry, if anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. I need to read the whole sentence when I get confused. Dying message. And then she wanted me to look at the bottles. Because there's one missing. Because I already figured that out. Because I'm smart. Sometimes. Something new.
Hey,
So, did you figure it out? I did! There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and I'm sure you'll find it. A correlation? Oh. Secret yawn's trying to sneak out. Hey Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is?
so...
I don't mind guiding you towards clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer. I do trust you to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree.
Hey,
Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma bottles that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment?
anyway...
Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces too. Huh? Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that?
That doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And that obnoxious Byaku is not here, so...
So then...
Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. I don't really know what this is about, but what choice do I have? I just better do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And Hina's just going to sit in the corner of the room and be fine with this. And just as I finished up,
So
I'm
then...
sorry to keep you waiting. Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So, what kind of experiment are we doing?
In other words...
I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare the weights. Compare the weights of what? The pieces of glass you collected and one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done.
Listen.
First, let's compare the weight of two of the normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced.
In other words,
Which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same and nothing else could really affect the weight. Oh, that is me, not Kyoko. Wow.
so then,
Now, here comes the important part. Put all the pieces that you picked up on one side of the scale. Now, what might we expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they'll balance out or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
so then,
Okay, let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? How is that possible?
I knew it.
Just as I thought. What?
In other words,
The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles put it all together.
hey,
And I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So, what do you think? It's all on you. Oh, it's all on you, Kyoko. Ugh. Trial time already?
Whoops, you caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake. Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It's time. It's already time, but the mystery of the locker room is only half solved. Of the locked room. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the class trial. No, not whatever happens. I have to make something happen. Oh my god. Let's get to work, folks. I'm excited! Monokuma made his announcement and everyone began to meet up one after the other. And then... the ultimate martial artist! A locked room murder mystery!
what?
What the... Oh, I've only just recently discovered the power of emoticons. Like, no matter how awful something is, if you toss in a smiley face, it turns positive.
Yes, indeed.
For example, you're at a picnic and you find a dead body. This is just plain creepy.
Well?
And how about the reverse? No matter how great something is, if you put a sad face, it makes you look super negative.
Yes, indeed.
For example, do I have 100 friends? What? He's right. That does make it seem sad.
I can't wait!
Now then, please get on the elevator. Oh my god, I don't think I can do those ones. I'll see you all down there. What the hell was that? I don't get it.
Just the worst.
I don't get you guys. How can you act so casual after murdering someone?
Don't look at me!
I don't think I'm acting casual.
Don't be mean!
I mean, I didn't murder anyone.
What the heck?
I'm completely innocent. How dare you call me a murderer?
What the heck?
Whatever. Either way, the truth will be revealed soon enough. Because there can be no doubt one of us is the culprit. The killer, the one that murdered Sakura. She was stronger than anyone I know, and yet someone killed her. And that person is here. That person is one of us. Let's go. Come on, it's time to put an end to this. I made my way towards the elevator, but with each step I took, I felt like I was moving further and further away from my goal. I could feel a chilling fear running through me, trying to make me rot from the inside out. No matter how many times I go through this, it never gets any easier. We climbed into the steel prison in total silence. We watched the doors close and felt it begin its sinister descent. The elevator lowered, uttering its all too familiar clunking sounds. It fell lower and lower, and suddenly, as always, The ride was over. The doors opened once again. Trial time. Just the 6 of you, huh? Really?
This is kind of
That's so few. You must be so lonely. You say that like it's not your fault. We're all that's left. I wonder, will the class trial end with one less classmate again? Or will your school life come to an end completely?
Now then.
Are we ready to begin? You know the drill. Find your assigned seats. And so, the curtain opened for the 4th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate. A deadly class trial. Let's go again. Yes, please. I hope I'm not going to run out of slots. Right. Do I have any more... Cool and composed. Steadies your aim a little. Ooh. I'll add that to fill up my thing. Nice. I think I remember everything. We're just gonna go straight into it. You know what I'm like. I always forget something.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, where to begin?
We already know who did it.
Whoa! Deja vu!
The one who killed Sakura is one of the people that hated her. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It was one of you.
Idiot.
I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah! I'd never kill someone, no way!
I don't want to hear your stupid excuses.
Hina seems really sure of that one of those 3 is the killer. But she must have some reason for believing that. And then cool music kicks in.
It was one of you. One of you killed Sakura.
And what reason do you have for saying so?
Because you all had a motive. You hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the only reason you have for accusing us?
That's low. That's about as low as you can get.
I would probably think it's the second one, not the first one. Some concrete reason why Hina suspects those 3. I'm sure she's mentioned it before.
It was one of you. One of you killed Sakura.
Oh, how do I fast forward? I can't.
And what reason do you have for saying so?
I'm just gonna have to go at normal pace, sorry guys.
Because you all had a motive. You hated her.
Nope, it's not that one, it's gotta be the second one then. I was thinking it was the second one.
Shoot!
Just get me back in the game.
It was one of you. One of you killed.
And what reason do you...
Because you hated her.
Is that it?
That's the only reason you have for accusing us?
That's low.
Oh, balls.
That's about as low as you can get. It was one of you. One of you killed.
And what reason do you...
Because you hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the only reason you have for accusing?
No, that's wrong.
There we go. I was thinking it was the second one, but I thought I'd use the first one too. Because
Another reason you suspect them is because Sakura wanted to meet with them, right?
Yeah, and that was right before she died. So there's no doubt about it. One of those 3 killed her.
I can't disagree with Hina, but there's a good reason to suspect all 3 of them. Then does that mean one of them did it? Pocket trash. Oh yeah.
The fact that Sakura wanted to meet with all 3 of them, there's no way that's not suspicious. One of you is absolutely guilty.
I don't deny that she wanted to meet with us, but I never went to see her.
I didn't either.
Yeah, same here.
No, that's wrong.
Pocket trash man. I can prove that, mate.
Hiro, when we were talking before, you dropped a small piece of paper, remember? It was white with red polka dots.
What's that got to do with anything?
Red polka dots? That's gotta be the wrapper from the candy I gave Sakura.
No, it's,
Ever since we got into the warehouse, I totally monopolized that entire box of candy. So there's no way a single one of them was left in the warehouse.
Hogging the candy.
In that case, Hiro, where did you get that piece of candy?
Piece of paper candy, dude.
From Sakura! It's the only explanation.
well, I mean, yeah, sure I got it from her, but she gave it to me forever ago. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to her.
When? When did she give it to you?
The last time you saw Sakura was when Hina had to go to the nurse's office, right?
Yeah, so I must have got it sometime before then.
Must have got it. Must have. But what Hiro said can't be right. Because Sakura could only have gotten the candy after the incident in the nurse's office. And the reason I know that is... When Sakura got that... This one makes no sense. I'm confused.
I got it!
I'll go with that one.
I'm not sure about that, Hiro.
Neither am I.
Hina
I'm
didn't
confused.
actually give Sakura the candy till after she left the nurse's office.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
So if that was the last time you saw her, there's no reason you should have had that candy.
Damn it! I mean, what I meant was,
Music's gone. I'm sad now.
Oh, that's right! I did meet up with her in the rec room. You got a problem with that?
We have, because you said you hadn't.
Why the sudden hostility?
But we just talked, that's all. I didn't do anything, you gotta believe me!
You're acting incredibly suspicious.
Yeah.
You're acting incredibly suspicious!
More hostility.
It's not just normal hostility! You're the real culprit! I even have proof!
Huh? Proof? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about her shining message.
What would a shining message even be?
At the scene of the crime, she had written out Toko in her own blood, right? It was her dying message.
Nope.
Just like
The
what you
hands
guys
were
were talking
clean.
about with Sayaka.
That's true. I saw it for myself.
See? See? Toko did it!
No, she didn't.
What are you saying? No way! I didn't do it!
You just don't know when you're beat, do ya?
Hiro, hold on. When did you see that dying message of hers?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, when we found Ogre's body. Duh.
But if you recall, Hina was very adamant about keeping you away from the scene of the crime.
Oh.
So it's hard to believe that's when you actually saw the message for yourself.
Oh. Huh? Hold on. But when Kyoko found the magazine with the dying message, it was... on the magazine shelf.
I got it!
I thought I was gonna say upside down.
You found the magazine on the magazine shelf, right?
That's right. Looking through the shelf, I found the magazine with the dying message on it. I found it right there at the scene of the crime, after we'd started the investigation.
If that's true, then what Hiro just said doesn't really make sense, does it?
Doesn't make sense?
Yeah.
What doesn't make sense? Everything I said makes perfect sense.
It doesn't? There's definitely something strange about it. Kyoko found the dying message during the investigation, in which case... that clearly contradicts what Hiro told us. So
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
And I can tell you when I found the dying message. It was only after the investigation had begun. I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf. When I pulled it out, I saw her final words.
What's your problem? What I said makes total sense.
He said he saw the dying message when he first found the body. But at the time, where was the magazine?
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
No? Okay.
Shoot!
So maybe it's what... Yeah, maybe it's what Kikyo
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message.
When Ogre's body was... And I can tell you when I found the dying message, it was only after the investigation had begun.
Okay. I don't know.
Shoot!
I don't know! Okay, I'm sorry!
I can tell you exactly
When I found when Ogre's body was...
And I can tell you, it was only
After the I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf.
Oh, I know what this is. I always forget this one. I have to get one of the answers.
Shoot.
Okay. I'm up to speed now. I'm up to speed.
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
And I can tell
Maybe I
you
need
when
that
I
one,
found the
magazine
dying
shelf.
message. It was only after the investigation had begun. I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf. When I pulled it out, I saw her final words.
What's your problem?
What I said makes total
I
sense!
think it's this one. Think it's this one. I'm trying to be independent.
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong.
I'm trying.
When Sakura's body was found, that magazine was sitting on the shelf nearby. That's where Kyoko found it, after we'd begun the investigation. And you weren't at the murder scene, so there's no way you could have seen it then. Tell us the truth, Hiro. When did you see the message?
Hold on. You're focusing on the wrong part. Why does it matter when I saw it? All you gotta do is read the Vienna sausage Ogre left us, and we know who the killer is. Toko!
I don't even know where to begin with that one.
He's just trying to confuse us.
Actually, can we even be sure Sakura wrote that message in the first place?
Yep. Because she had clean hands.
Yeah?
No.
I think we can all agree Ogre wrote that message.
No, she didn't.
100%, without a doubt, she wrote it. And this is me talking, so you know it's true.
Without a doubt. No, I absolutely do doubt it. There's no way Sakura wrote that message. Know the truth. Okay.
Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap. Give it a rest. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap.
Oh.
The end is nigh. Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap. Give it a rest. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap.
Somehow managed to do that.
Show me the proof.
This should prove it.
odd to have it so early. I mean, it used to be at the end, and now it's like all the way up the front. It's ridiculous.
I'm completely unconvinced that Sakura wrote that dying message. Because if you look at it, the message was almost certainly written using a finger. But both of her hands were completely free of blood.
Say what?
Then, who did write it?
Hiro could very well have written it himself.
Ooh, why would you want to do that?
That
Hiro?
would explain how he knew about the message in the first place.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Ah! He admits it!
I figured as much.
But why would you write something like that?
Because I killed her!
You're admitting to killing her?
Please, just let me explain what happened. I got Ogre's note, and so I headed to the rec room right before noon, just like it said.
You just did exactly as the note asked? What a fool.
And when I got there...
Come on, Hiro, tell us the story. Sorry, but do you mind waiting? I asked a couple of other people to meet as well. Oh, okay. Would you like a piece of candy? It might help give you some energy. Oh, sure. Thanks.
And that's all she said. After that, we just stood around in awkward silence.
But that doesn't explain how you murdered her.
Suddenly, I heard her mutter something.
This is it. I'm going to end it today. I'm going to end everything.
As soon as I heard that, I just knew! I knew she was gonna try and kill me! She was gonna kill me and make her escape!
What?
So of course I freaked out, and then... I saw my only chance. I grabbed the Monokuma bottle from the shelf and smashed it across her head!
Hiro, violent.
I hit her from behind, before she had any idea what was happening. Then she just went limp. I didn't see her move again after that. Once it was over, I pulled myself together. I realized if I didn't do something, I'd be caught and executed. So I wrote Toko's name in blood across a magazine on the table and I ran away.
I can't believe you! You're the worst! I hope you die!
Well, that's what happened. Go ahead. Roast me, boil me, do whatever you want.
You're not gonna get off that easy. It's death. Death for the one that killed Sakura.
Still too much.
We're ready to vote now, right? We know who did it.
No, I think there's more to Hiro's story.
Me too.
What are you talking about? What else could there be?
There's one thing that Hiro's story just now doesn't explain. And until we figure that part out, we can't consider the case closed.
So what is it that Hiro did that doesn't make sense? What would he have had to do after writing the message? Why he didn't use Sakura's fingers? Okay, no, it's not that then. I didn't even think about that. Oh, you wouldn't have thought of that even if you didn't panic? Anyway, that's not the point I was trying to make. No. Yeah, I was about to say.
Shoot!
Damn it! Why do I always get everything wrong? Why? Yeah. That doesn't make sense if he was trying to... Why Toko? It's gotta be why Toko. Yeah, why he picked Toko then? No? Great. Okay, let's just get out of this.
Shoot!
There's one thing that doesn't make sense. Why the magazine was hidden.
I got it! That's true. Everything you just said,
3 of those things.
it doesn't explain why the magazine was hidden, does it?
Huh?
By the time the body was discovered, the magazine had been picked up and put on the shelf. Why would you take the time to write that message, then stick it somewhere we might not find it?
Oh.
That is another
Well,
checkpoint. I'm just not very good at
I didn't hide it. I'm sure I just left it sitting there on the table.
Really?
He's lying! He's gotta be lying!
I don't see any reason he would lie now, after already confessing to the crime.
Then, he's not lying?
Assuming he's telling the truth, someone else must have put the magazine back on the shelf.
Who would do that?
In other words, at least one other person was in the rec room both before and after the incident.
I don't think there's any question about that.
But then, who was it?
If they went to the trouble of hiding the
It's gotta
magazine,
be Toko.
they must not have liked what was written on it.
Someone who... It's gotta be Toko.
I got it!
Toko was in
It
here.
had to be Toko, right? Who else would want to hide the magazine other than the person whose name was written on it?
Is he right, Toko? Did you really go to the rec room?
Why would I have... Wait, but more important, that doesn't even matter. We already know who did it, right? Hiro just admitted it.
That's right. I killed her.
No, you didn't.
Who asked you?
I don't doubt Hiro attacked Sakura with the bottle. But that's not where this case ends.
What do you mean?
What he means is that Hiro isn't the killer.
You can't be serious. That's just... I don't believe it.
Hiro, tell us what happened one more time. If we go through it once more, it should become clear he's not Sakura's killer.
So, what do you want me to do?
Just tell us what happened one more time when you attacked Sakura.
I don't really see why, but okay.
We haven't reached the end of the case just yet. Hiro isn't the real killer. And I have to prove that. Oh god. So examination summary, status of Sakura's body in the yellow powder. Great.
I didn't want to, but I did it. I grabbed a Monokuma bottle from the shelf nearby, and I hit Ogre from behind before she could do anything.
You hit her from behind. And you only hit her once, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, just once. After the first swing, the bottle shattered, and she went limp.
See? Isn't it obvious? Hiro really is the killer!
Yep.
I didn't want to, but I grabbed him on a and I hit him.
Ogre from behind before she could do anything.
You hit her from behind. And you only hit her once, is that right?
Yeah, just once.
No, that's wrong.
She was hit for them.
If Sakura died from Hiro's single blow, that doesn't explain why she had 2 head wounds.
Two?
That's right. She had 2 separate wounds on her head.
And remember, this girl examines dead bodies as a hobby. Personally, I'm inclined to believe her.
Lol.
But I only hit her once. How could she have 2 wounds?
2 wounds means she was struck twice. What's more, both attacks must have come from a Monokuma bottle.
Hold on. How can you know that just from some cuts on her head? She was attacked twice with 2 Monokuma bottles?
It's not just because of her head wounds. It's also because of the Monokuma bottles themselves. There's something very suspicious about those bottles. Once you understand that point, you'll understand why 2 separate Monokuma bottles must have been used. Think back. After the incident, there were 4 Monokuma bottles left on the shelf, right? And we found pieces of a bottle on the ground, along with the chess piece it had inside.
That was the bottle Hiro hit Sakura with, right?
For now, just note that there were 4 intact bottles and 1 broken bottle. But originally, there were 6 bottles in total, meaning 1 has gone missing.
But how can you know for sure there were 6 bottles?
That's easy. If you look at what the bottles all had in common, it should become clear.
The correlation between the Monokuma bottles, I feel like it's starting to become clear. I'm expected to know this. The connection must be... is the object that Monokuma figure that the Monokuma figure inside each... I didn't even get to finish reading that. Hangman's Gambit. Well, it's chess. Me and E. Nice. Chess piece. Chess piece.
Now I understand. That's it! The chess pieces! Inside each bottle, there was a Monokuma figure holding a different chess piece.
King, rook, bishop, pawn.
Oh, it's called a
I
rook.
definitely
I'm
remember
so
seeing
sorry.
each of those.
And the piece that was inside the broken bottle we found was
Knight.
the knight, if I remember.
So, what's that matter?
I guess you don't know too much about chess, do you? Then let me explain. In chess, there are 6 different pieces. The king, the queen, the rook, knight, bishop, and pawn. What was left intact at the crime scene were the
queen
king,
was
rook,
gone.
bishop, and pawn. Just
I told
those
you
4.
I'd get it wrong. I was guessing.
And on the ground was the knight.
So where's the king?
Oh.
Where's the queen?
So the queen is missing.
So we only have evidence for 5 bottles at the scene, while 1 apparently went missing.
What does chess have to do with anything?
Yeah, shogi is way better.
Oh God, shut up.
Yeah. Wait, no, that's not what I mean. So, let's say a bottle did go missing. There's still no evidence that has anything to do with this case. That bottle could have disappeared any time before the murder.
Sorry about that, guys. Knocking interference.
No. It's clear that the missing bottle is connected to this case.
How is it clear?
Think about what state the missing bottle must have been in. Maybe then you'll understand.
Wait, then the bottle that was missing... it was completely intact? It was broken. It's got to... Oh. No, of course it's got to be broken. I don't know why my brain said that. Damn it. It's got to be broken. I don't know why my brain second guesses.
The bottle
all the time,
must have been
all the
broken.
time.
What makes you so sure?
Sorry, just turning the volume down a little bit.
Because there was evidence at the scene that supports it.
Huh?
That's right. We found evidence that shows there was more than just one broken bottle at the scene.
We did?
And what is this evidence?
It wasn't just a single broken bottle and the, oh yeah, because it weighed too much. I figured out it weighed too much.
I got it!
It weighed too much.
Earlier, Kyoko and I did a little experiment. We compared the weight of the broken bottle pieces at the scene to one of the unbroken bottles.
And it weighed too much. They're supposed to
And
weigh
what
the
we
same.
found was that the collection of pieces was heavier. And the reason for that is
There's more than one.
there was actually more than one bottle's worth of shattered glass.
So from this, we can surmise that 2 bottles were actually broken at the scene of the crime. But someone did their best to clean up the pieces of one of the bottles, along with the figure inside. But when they did, they must have left behind a few too many pieces. Which is only natural. They certainly had no way to measure the exact right number of pieces to remove.
But why would they have to try and get rid of it like that anyway?
Because of what it would reveal about the case.
There could be no doubt that the second missing Monokuma bottle is involved in this case. Sakura's first attacker. No, you're wrong. Oh, second attacker then. Okay.
Shoot!
So, Toko was the second attacker?
I got it!
Odd.
The bottle that was removed from the scene was used the second time Sakura was attacked.
The second wound on Sakura's head came from that second bottle. Given all the evidence, this is the only possible conclusion.
I'm not smart. That's
The
why
killer
Kyoko
wanted
did
to make
for
it
me.
look like there was only one attack, so they had to get rid of their evidence.
From there, we can conclude that it wasn't Hiro who delivered that second blow. Wouldn't you agree, Toko? And there's the matter of the magazine. You must have been in the rec room when the incident took place.
Wait! I admit, maybe there was a second attack, but there's no evidence I had anything to do with it.
No way! You killed her! I'm sure of it!
Of course you would.
Shut up! Until 2 seconds ago, you were claiming you killed her!
Lol.
I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. That's just the kind of guy I am. Plus, I just remembered something that proves it.
Okay, fine. Let's hear it.
It was right after I got Ogre's note. I was kind of nervous about it, so I went to the rec room early. You know, to stake it out or whatever. So I was waiting there, and that's when I saw her. I saw Toko go into the rec room.
You did?
Pretty soon, Ogre showed up, and she went into the rec room. I assumed Toko was still in there, so I figured everything would be okay. That's why I headed in. But when I got inside, Ogre was all alone. Toko had disappeared.
She was in the
And
locker
you
then.
just now decided to share that with us?
After the shock of thinking I'd killed someone, I forgot all about it.
Could someone tighten the screws on his brain? I think they've come loose.
Lol.
So, Toko, where the heck did you disappear to?
You don't know what you're talking about. I never went in the rec room.
I'm sure she didn't disappear. but maybe she found somewhere to hide.
What? Hiding in the rec room? Don't be ridiculous.
Locker time.
Why are you all ganging up on me? You're all nothing but vermin.
Nope, it's not ridiculous at all. I need proof that shows Toko was hiding in the rec room. Lock her, please. And I have it. She left it there for anyone to find. A new element has been added to bullet time battles. Oh, for God's sakes, why are you doing this to me, game? So far, you've probably been pressing the left mouse button during your final strike without a second thought. Right, okay. But from now on, you're going to have to pay a little extra attention to your finishing blow. Why? Now you'll have to choose the proper truth bullet to use during your coup de grace. Oh, for God's sakes. You'll select it the same way as during the non-stop debate. Simply press the Q key or use the mouse wheel. Also, like the debate, if your logic difficulty is set to kind, you'll have fewer bullets to choose from. Great, thanks. But for educational purposes, we're going to pretend you're set to mean regardless. Just this once, okay? Well, screw you guys. Screw you. Oh, by the way, you're about halfway through the game now. Go you! Great, yay. Well then, good luck and have fun. It's gonna take longer to find out how everybody else died? What?
It's a lie! I admit nothing.
Hang on a minute, how do I reload? Tab key. Got it.
I hate you. I curse you. No! That's enough! I admit nothing. I curse you. I curse you. It's a lie! That's enough! It's a lie! I admit nothing. I hate you. I curse you. No! That's enough!
Lock her handprints.
This should prove it.
I was about to say, let me scroll through.
Did you know someone left a handprint behind on the inside of the locker? They must have been hiding in there and put their hand on the wall without thinking. Does this handprint look familiar, Toko?
No, it doesn't.
Okay then, let's just compare it to your hand, shall we? That'll clear everything up, right?
Stop wasting my time. Just tell us the truth.
Okay, it's my handprint.
That was easy.
Dang, she just straight up admitted it.
Then you killed Sakura!
No, I swear, there's no way!
Out with it.
I probably did kill her.
Straight up again?
Wait, what do you mean probably?
Give us the details, Toko. What happened between you and Sakura?
Talk. Now.
After I read Sakura's note, I
Instant-
decided to go there
instant
early,
response.
so I went into the rec room. I didn't know what she might do if I didn't go, but I was too scared to face her head on. So I figured I'd just sneak in first and hide in the locker.
Then, did you see what happened? Did you see me hit her?
Yes, and I saw you write my name. I saw you forge her dying message.
Well, that's awkward.
So after he left, I jumped out of the locker and put the magazine back on the shelf.
But when you did, you put it back upside down.
I didn't mean to. I was in a hurry.
Imbeciles, all of you.
Forget all that. Why did you attack Sakura?
After I put the magazine back, I heard a sound behind me like a monster growling. And when I turned around, there was Sakura, covered in blood and staring right at me.
I mean, that would terrify anyone.
When I saw all that blood, I fainted. Right there in front of the magazines. I don't remember what happened after that. If you want to know more, you'll have to ask her.
Her? You mean...
Haha, guess who's back?
It
Misty
was your
go.
fault after all!
Missed you go.
My fault, Master's fault. When our faults combine, they soar to even greater heights.
Just answer the question. Did you kill Sakura?
Well, to be honest, Miss Morose and me don't actually share our memories. So I can't really say what was going on. But I was just minding my own business, sleeping peacefully when someone shook me awake. Was it a prince paying me a visit? I wondered. So I opened my eyes to see... Splatter everywhere! I was not prepared for that. And, well, I guess it took me by surprise. I got so startled, I smacked her with the first thing I could find, which I guess was a bottle. Sakura was just worried about you, and you're terrible! No, she's terrible! Thanks to her, I murdered someone who wasn't an adorable boy for the first time ever!
And when it was all over, you collected the pieces of the bottle to get rid of the evidence, didn't you?
I wasn't about to die for some woman! If I'm gonna go down, I want it to be for killing Master!
Just go away and die your meaningless death alone. Don't drag me into it.
Lol.
But I just can't catch a break, you know? Fate's got it out for me. Because normally, Sakura should have been able to dodge my attack no problem.
Even as strong as she is, she must have still been reeling from Hiro's attack.
Hey, come on. That's... you know... But anyway, I'm not the one that killed Ogre. So that's good.
So that's good. Keep talking like that and Hina's gonna...
Well then, that's that. Let's start the vote.
Huh? I thought for sure she'd have some words for Hiro on that one. Same.
What's wrong? Come on, everyone, we're ready to vote, right? Let's do this.
No, not quite yet.
Huh? Not yet? Why not yet?
Don't you think there was something odd about Toko's story? I mean, you had to have noticed.
Odd. Huh?
Hiro's attack, and then Toko's, but that still wasn't the end of it.
Nope. It wasn't? Oh.
Tell us your story one more time. Tell us what happened after you fainted. Then even this gaggle of idiots should understand what I'm talking about.
Your wish is my command, darling.
It's not over yet, is it? The one who killed Sakura is... Oh yeah, the yellow powder.
I was just sleeping peacefully. And all of a sudden, Sakura was right there in front of me. I remember waking up right in front of the magazine shelf.
And you were taken by surprise when you saw Ogre covered in blood. So you smashed her head in with the Monokuma bottle?
You got it! I smashed her good!
And where did the attack take place?
Right where I woke up. I killed her there in front of the shelf.
I'm guessing it's the status of her body then. Where did Sakura die? It was...
I was just sleeping
It's gonna
peacefully.
be the status of her
And
body
all of a
then.
sudden, Sakura was right there in front of me. I remember waking up right in front of the magazine shelf.
And you were taken by surprise when you saw Ogre covered in blood. So you smashed her head in with the Monokuma bottle?
You got it! I smashed her good!
And where did the attack take place?
Right where I woke up. I killed her there in front of the shelf.
No, that's wrong.
I have so little health. It's insane.
We found Sakura sitting upright in a chair. If the blow by the shelf was the cause of death, there's no explanation why she was in that chair.
So, you finally noticed.
That's just another lie from a bloodthirsty serial killer.
Are you sure you didn't attack her while she was sitting in the chair?
Hina?
No, I'm sure she's telling the truth. Anyone who saw the murder scene should think the same way.
That has to be it. The evidence that proves she was... Oh yeah, the blood on the floor.
I got it!
Yeah, now I got it.
Sakura was
Actual
definitely
life.
attacked in
Or
front of the
health.
shelf. The blood stain by the magazines is proof of that.
Then she must have moved the body after she killed her, right? All to make it look like I did it. Because when I hit her, she was sitting in the chair.
Hey, come on now, look at me. I can't carry anything heavier than my own scissors. There's no way I could move a muscle-bound heavyweight like that.
Then what's the deal?
Well, are you still convinced the case has come to an end?
But
Plus, the biggest mystery of all, the locked room, still has yet to be explained. Until we take care of that, we can't say this case has been properly settled.
oh, that part's easy. After she killed Sakura, Toko just hid in the locker again.
Huh. So she just hid in there till everyone showed up and opened the door? And while everything was all confused and
No.
hectic, she just snuck out of the locker into the group.
No.
No, I don't think that's possible.
Because... I saw it for myself.
I got it!
Let's get some life
Even
going back
before
up.
we open the door to the rec room, Hina and I both got a look inside.
Oh yeah, we did.
And at that point, the locker was already open. So obviously Toko couldn't have been hiding in there.
Okay then. Where was she hiding?
I don't know. What's this whole locked room thing about anyway?
How do you not know? You killed her!
I think the fact that I don't know proves I didn't kill her. Thank you very much. You're lying.
No, she's not. I've been saying all along, there's still more to this case.
But if Genocide Jill didn't do it, that means Ogre didn't die from the shot to the head.
And
Well, I can't imagine what else could have killed her.
that's because you're overlooking vital information.
Could we really be missing something so important? Yeah, the fact that she vomited blood. Yes. Oh, I've got to actually do it.
What was it that killed Ogre? If it wasn't from Genocide Jill's attack, then what was it?
There's no other possible cause. What killed Sakura? I can't think of anything other than the
No, that's wrong.
Out of here, Hina. Get out of here. You didn't read Monokuma's file very well,
According
did
to
you?
the Monokuma file, Sakura had vomited blood. I think we can assume there's a chance this was related to her cause of death. In fact, there was even a trace of blood left around her mouth.
Well, I mean, maybe when she got hit with the bottles, she cut the inside of her mouth.
No.
If that's all it was, the file wouldn't have specified vomited blood. Not to mention, I didn't find any cuts inside her mouth.
You even checked in there? God, you really are into dead bodies!
No, I'm not into dead bodies. What I'm into is solving mysteries.
But if there wasn't a cut or anything, then what made her vomit blood?
Poison!
Some sort of reaction within her body. Most likely, Sakura was poisoned.
The protein thing!
Poisoned?
That's right. This is the conclusion I've arrived at, and so there can be no mistake.
He is right.
You're making me go all weak in the knees! She was poisoned? It isn't possible!
Is it really so hard to believe? Then let me explain exactly how the culprit was able to poison her.
Sorry.
You can
I'm slightly tired.
explain it?
Of course, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Everyone quiet! Shut up and listen to Master!
But you're the only one
One
talking.
talking. Call it, girl.
The key to unlocking this mystery was hiding in the chem lab up on the 4th floor.
Huh? Not in the rec room? Then I could have found it all along.
You never would have, since you gave up on the search the moment you were barred from the crime scene.
Lol.
Well, yeah, good point.
There's a big shelving unit in the chem lab that houses a variety of mixtures and chemicals. And that's where I found this.
Is that the poison?
It's not an especially powerful poison, but it'll still kill you if you drink an entire bottle. But the specific properties don't matter. What does matter is where I found it.
Where'd you find it?
The shelf is divided up into 3 sections, A, B, and C. In Section A, dietary supplements. In B, reagents. And in C, a variety of lethal chemicals.
And that's where the poison came from? Section C?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Bottle of poison Byaku just showed us. I'm sure I know where he got it. He found it in A. Section A.
I got it!
Give me that extra
Poison was
love
actually in Section A, wasn't it?
Huh? But you just said that Section A was for supplements or whatever.
Strange, isn't it? Why would there be a bottle of poison mixed in with all those nutritional additives?
Yeah, so? Why?
Because the culprit switched it out. That's why.
What do you mean?
I mean, this.
I couldn't believe my eyes. Byaku put the bottle of poison to his lips and...
Huh? Master!
We were so shocked at what we were seeing, all we could do was stand there and watch. Yeah, Byaku is not going to kill himself. But as if it were the most natural thing in the world, Byaku was calm as ever. Because he's not going to kill himself.
Ugh, that tastes awful.
Oh no! Master's in real trouble! You have to drink some water! You can't just swallow powder! It'll stick to your throat!
Idiot! He just swallowed poison! We need to make him spit it out!
The flavor certainly makes me want to spit it out. What's so high quality about this stuff?
Huh? What are you talking about?
You just drank protein.
I'm talking about the protein, of course.
Protein?
Can I see that bottle for a second?
Sure. Do whatever you like.
Took the bottle from Byaku and scraped out a bit of the contents with one finger. She touched her finger to her tongue.
It's protein powder.
Correct. That wasn't poison in the bottle, but harmless protein powder. Which makes one wonder, the poison that should have been in that bottle, where did it go?
The bottle of poison was actually filled with protein powder. Which would mean that, conversely, the poison must have been in... Could it be... in the protein shake bottle. Need an R, please. E. N, please. Oh, damn it. Ah. Need an eye again. Eye. Give me an eye. Why you keep giving me ends? It's just like,
Now I understand.
Give me what I want, please. Jeez.
The poison must have been poured into the protein can. If the protein's in the poison bottle, it seems only logical to assume the reverse is true, right?
Absolutely. The contents of each container were switched. So the protein was in the bottle of poison, and the poison was in the protein can. Once you accept that, it becomes obvious how the culprit was able to get Sakura to drink the poison.
Holy crap!
All they had to do was hand her something there at the scene, and she was happy to drink the poison herself.
Still don't think... Something at the scene? Protein drink.
I got it! You're saying they gave her a protein drink, right?
A protein drink which actually contained a deadly poison.
What?
That's all it took to kill Sakura. That is the true cause of death.
You know, I do remember Ogre saying that protein stuff was good for all kinds of aches and pains. So maybe she took it to try and help with the whole bleeding head wound thing.
But what was offered to her instead was a bottle full of poison. And I already know exactly who swapped the mixtures.
For real? Who was it?
Evidence revealing who replaced the two materials was left in the chem lab for anyone to see.
Has to be... the footprints.
I got it!
Footprints in the powder.
The footprints left behind in front of the shelf. That's the evidence you're talking about, isn't it?
I visited the chem lab this morning, and there were definitely no footprints there at that point. They must have appeared around the time of the murder, which leaves no doubt that they're connected. What's more, the footprints were in front of Section A, where I found the bottle meant for the poison. The culprit must have gone to Section A to swap the poison and protein, leaving their footprints behind.
Still don't know who did it though.
And given how clear the prints were, figuring out who they belong to will pose no problem. All we have to do is check everyone's footprints right now. Then we'll see who...
It was me. The footprints. They're mine.
Hina?
If you're all gonna find out anyway, I'd rather you hear it straight from me, you know?
Then Ogre's killer was...
Yep. I did it. I killed Sakura.
Yeah, how many people are gonna...
Just as I suspected. The footprints were made by a pair of sneakers. There was no mistaking it. And the only people here who wear sneakers are...
Makoto and Hina.
I got it!
Only two people alive.
Me and Hina are the only ones. Oh, so Byakuya. That explains why you...
Yeah. Are these your footprints, Makoto? Are they yours? Yeah. No. My feet are far too big for those footprints.
If the footprints didn't belong to Makoto, that left only one other possibility.
Sakura, because she's got powder on them.
Just Hina.
Plus, Hina's been acting strange ever since the trial began. You were in an awful rush to get to the vote, weren't you? This whole time, you've been focused on pinning the crime on someone else, haven't you?
Dun 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 dun.
I can't believe it.
What about it can't you believe?
Well, it's just... the two of them were so close.
That's likely exactly why it turned out this way. Because they were so close, Sakura didn't think twice about it when Hina handed her the concoction. Hina used that trust to kill her.
Dun 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 dun.
She deceived the victim, and she tried to deceive all of us. I have to say, Hina, coming from you, this was a particularly nasty little scheme.
Hina, is it true? Did you really kill Sakura? And if you did, why? Why would you do that?
I found her. There in the rec room. She was hurt. She asked me to bring her that protein drink. But when I went to get the powder from the chem lab, it just occurred to me all of a sudden.
Now's my chance to kill her. That's what you thought, right? That's when you switched out the protein powder, and that's when you gave her the poisoned mixture.
And then she downed it all at once. And then
Hold it! I'm not convinced.
You're not about to claim she wouldn't kill a close friend, are you? You still don't get it, do you? The game we're playing here isn't so kind. Honeyed words like friendship don't matter here. What matters is outwitting the opponent, defeating them. Not a person alive would sacrifice themselves for another. In the end, we're all in it for ourselves. Just like how this girl sacrificed Sakura to save herself.
You say that, but I'm still not convinced.
How many times do you plan to repeat yourself?
Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying it because of some misguided sentimentalism. But there's still that one unsolved mystery, and I'm not convinced.
Are you talking about the locked room problem?
Hina, if you really are the killer, explain it. How did you create that locked room?
well, that doesn't matter. Just because I'm guilty, that means I have to tell you everything?
No, it doesn't. But the fact that you won't tell us concerns me.
Surely you're not... Do you honestly think Hina didn't actually kill her?
Oh yeah.
And if I do?
We gonna do
Impossible.
about it,
She
Byakuya.
switched out the mixtures. She's the culprit. There's no way you can doubt this.
Are you sure about that? Even ignoring the fact that I don't want to believe it, it just doesn't fit.
Yeah,
What
how about
doesn't
the
fit?
powder on her shoes?
I mean,
even?
why would someone leave such a clear clue like a footprint? It's too obvious. Too easy.
He's right. It makes it look like you wanted people to suspect you.
That was... I was just nervous. So, I didn't notice I'd left a footprint.
You didn't notice?
Yeah, that's just how it was. What can I do?
Listen, Hina. Could you go into a bit more detail? Tell us more about when you switched the poison and the protein.
Yeah. 'Cause this
How
is-
come? That doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Hina, please, I'd like to know too.
Fine.
Waste your time if you like. It's clear that Hina is the culprit.
Oh, shut up, Byakuya.
There's nobody else to suspect. Nobody else could have possibly done it.
Go ahead, Hina. Start from the moment you arrived at the chem lab.
Well, right away I went to Section C and got the poison.
And is that when you spilled the powder in front of that part of the shelf?
Yeah. When I opened the bottle, I dropped it like an idiot.
I see. Okay then, go on.
So then I moved to Section A and got the protein powder, and that's where I switched them. Once I was done with that, I took the protein can that had the poison in it and left the room. But I accidentally put the bottle filled with protein powder back on the wrong shelf. And because of that, everything I did got found out. And that's it.
That story you just told. First you went to Section C to get the poison, then moved to Section A to get the protein, right? Meaning you went from Section C to Section A. Do I have that correct?
Yeah.
But if that's true, isn't that a little strange? Yeah, that the footprints are only to A.
Can you repeat that series of events one more time?
What's wrong with you, Big Mac? You're being awfully pushy.
Big Mac.
It's the same thing no matter how many times you hear it. How long until you're satisfied?
How long? Until we figure it out. Until I uncover the truth of this case.
First, I went to Section C. That's when I grabbed the poison.
And you spilled some of the powder on the ground in front of the shelf.
Yeah. When I grabbed the bottle, I dropped it.
Okay, and then?
I moved from Section C to...
No, you didn't.
No, that's wrong.
That was easy peasy for a change.
You said you went to get the poison from Section C.
I didn't even have to listen to all of
and
it.
that's where you spilled the powder, right?
Yeah? What about it?
And after that, you said you moved from Section C to Section A to get the protein.
No way you could have done that, my darling.
But the footprints left at the scene were not moving from Section C to Section A. That contradicts what you just said.
What? Then maybe she moved in some weird direction on purpose to disguise her movements?
No, that can't be it. Remember what Hina just said?
I was just nervous, so I didn't notice I'd left a footprint.
What the? Hina, what's the meaning of this?
Lol.
Well...
Notice I
You
always
lied to
lol
us.
for Byakuya.
Plain and simple. If you look at the footprints, your movements in the chem lab are obvious. The powder had already been spilled when you came in, and you went straight to Section A. So you never went to Section C. Whatever you did there, it only involved Section A.
Well... You see...
What the hell? What's going on here?
Byakuya's losing his shit.
And the
I love
footprints
it.
aren't the only problem with her account.
What?
Before I explain that part, I'd like to submit some new evidence.
Ooh.
New evidence? Impossible, there can't be.
Are you sure? After all, you're the one that gave it to me.
I did?
It was hidden inside the bottle of poison you gave me. I'm amazed you, of all people, would miss such a vital clue. A truly grave oversight.
Just say it already! What is it you think you found?
I found this.
Huh? A piece of glass?
It had sunk to the bottom of the bottle. And the hidden clue was exposed, thanks to you ingesting the powder. I couldn't have solved the mystery without you. So, thank you for that.
But, what is it?
Oh, you still don't realize? Well then. Makoto, why don't you explain it?
Is it from the window?
Huh? Me?
Fine. If you really do know, explain the meaning of that shard of glass.
Byakuya, why are you getting so flustered? Kyo found in the bottle. I think I remember now. The rec room window!
It's part of the window from the rec room door, right?
The window?
Byakuya!
The window we broke to get in was light blue, just like that. So I think that must be it.
You're right. It must be. Of course, that leads to another question. How did a shard of glass from the window get inside this bottle of poison?
What's so strange about that?
What's strange is that, according to what Hina told us,
I'm kind of not quite sure who did it now. Where was it the bottle of poison should have been when I... Section A on the shelf.
I got it! The bottle of poison was left on the shelf in the chem lab. That is what you said, right, Hina? And yet, somehow a piece of glass from the rec room window made its way into the bottle.
Everything Hina told us was a lie?
In reality, that bottle of poison most definitely found its way to the rec room. It was there at least until the window got broken. In other words, when the locked room was unlocked. There's no other way to explain the presence of that glass in that bottle.
And then, once the room was opened, the bottle somehow got moved back to the shelf in the chem lab. Meanwhile, the protein can we found at the crime scene was planted there. That had to be after the locked room was opened. In other words, after Sakura died.
Wait, hold on. You're moving too fast. I'll grant you, the bottle of poison may well have been in the rec room when it was locked. But how can you say the protein can was put there after the room was unlocked?
Because it was on top of the broken shelf.
We already know she was given the protein can with a poison inside, right? If that can wasn't there when she died, how did she get poisoned?
You're right. We do need to explain that. But before we do, there's something I'd like to confirm with everyone here.
Oh, do tell.
Huh?
It has to do with the protein can. After Sakura's body was discovered, did anyone move it or trip over it or anything like that?
What are you talking about? Is this some kind of loaded question?
Woo.
Not at all.
Ooh, Byakuya.
Just answer to the best of your ability.
Well, no, not that I remember.
Yeah, me either.
Not me.
Same here. Yeah, me either.
Okay then, that settles it. That proves that the protein can found its way to the murder scene after the room was opened.
Oh, come on! How can you say that?
I love seeing him get
How
all
can you
flustered
know what I don't know?
and angry. It's great. It's funny. Because there's evidence. There is. There's proof that someone brought the protein can to the rec room after it was opened.
When it comes to that protein can, there's not a doubt in my mind. Until the locked room was unlocked, it absolutely was not in there.
So you're saying someone planted it there after we got the door open?
No. No, that's impossible! It had to have been in there the whole time! It had to be!
It was in there before.
Shut up,
No, that's wrong.
Sit down, boy. Sit, boy.
You remember how there was broken glass scattered all around the room, right?
Of course! It came from the window you broke to get in. What about it?
Well,
Byakuya,
those
Byakuya,
pieces
Byakuya.
weren't just scattered around the protein can. We also found pieces underneath the can.
What?
And this proves
Ooh,
it.
new animations.
It shows that the can must have been put down on the floor after the window was broken. So it had to be after we got into the room.
I see. So that's your explanation. Kyoko, earlier when you asked if anyone had moved the can or tripped over it,
If that were the case, that would explain the can being on top of the glass.
So you asked everyone about it to eliminate that possibility right out of the gate.
And that's made everything clear, hasn't it? As long as it was a locked room, it only contained the bottle of poison, and not the protein can. But once the room was opened up, they were switched, and as a result, the protein can wound up in the rec room, and the bottle of poison returned to the chem lab.
if that's all true, then why did Sakura drink the poison? I thought we all agreed she was tricked into drinking it because of the protein can.
No, that's not why. The only explanation is she drank it from its original bottle, knowing exactly what it was.
Precisely. She was alone in a locked room. All she had was the poison. What other possibility is there?
You're saying she drank it knowing what it was? Such a ridiculous fiction is...
Exactly what happened.
Then tell us already! Sorry. Please, tell us.
Before we get to that, we need to
Politeness?
clarify one other thing. We need to establish who exactly got the poison from the chem lab and took it to the rec room.
She did. Sakura did.
It was Hina, right?
No, Sakura
She
did
took it and gave it to Ogre.
No, Sakura did it.
What do you think, Makoto?
No. The one who got the poison from the chem lab and brought it to the rec room. Sakura!
I got it!
I know
I
this
think
one.
It was Sakura herself.
Huh? So Sakura, who was apparently murdered, just poisoned herself? What are you talking about? There's no way!
On the contrary, we know for a fact she went to the chem lab, right to the section full of poisons.
You're lying! Stop lying! Why? Why would you lie like that?
No, it's not a lie. Sakura definitely went to Section C. Kyoko already showed me the evidence I need. Now I have to hit Hina with it. I have to make her accept it! Time for another oh, Jesus. Again? Let's go. Here we go again.
You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! I'm telling you, I did it! Stop talking! You're a liar! Wrong! You're wrong! Wrong! You're wrong! I hate you! You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! I'm telling you, I did it! Stop talking! You're a liar! Wrong! You're wrong! Wrong! You're wrong! I hate you! You're a liar! Wrong! You're wrong! Do you have any kind of proof Sakura took the poison?
This should prove it.
I do, with limited health. I kind of went, you know what, I'm just gonna use FIFA time,
Hina,
it's fine.
Did you know that Sakura's foot had a certain yellow powder stuck to it?
It did?
It did. The same yellow powder that had been spilled by the shelf in the chem lab. That powder was yellow, wasn't it? So the powder we found on Sakura, what else could it be but the powder from the chem lab?
Wait. So, what was that powder doing on Ogre's foot?
And it was only on her instep, right?
Sakura must have been standing right there where the powder was spilled. So the person who spilled the powder by the shelf wasn't Hina, but Sakura. And when Sakura dropped the bottle, she dropped it away from where she was actually standing. Which is how she was able to avoid getting it all over herself. But the powder still got scattered around, and some of it must have wound up on her instep. Is there any problem with my thinking?
But why did Sakura pay a visit to Section C in the first place? The only explanation is that she was looking for poison. After all, that's all that section contained.
No! It was me! The poison! Because I killed her!
No, you didn't kill her.
The one that killed Sakura is Sakura. It's freaking Sakura. There's only one way to explain it.
Here's my answer.
Sakura killed herself.
The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
What? The killer was Sakura?
Wait, so you're saying it was suicide?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it any more than I believe I can fly.
I can't believe it either. Or rather, I don't want to believe it. But when you really think about it, everything matches up. Sakura went and got the poison. She barricaded herself in a room, and she drank it. All so she could end her own life. And that explains why we couldn't solve the mystery of the locked room.
Because of course... Monokuma forced her into the locked room. That's an odd one. Sakura wanted to create the locked room.
I got it!
Odd
The
one.
locked room mystery was created by Sakura.
I'm sure she locked herself in so nobody could stop her from doing what she did. She sat there, drank the poison, and breathed her last breath.
Wow, how depressing.
And the empty bottle of poison rolled around the locked room until we came and opened it. At that point, someone grabbed the bottle and snuck it out of the room.
But why?
And that was you, wasn't it, Hina? You did it to throw off the investigation, didn't you? When we found her body, you stayed right there near the door. Because you already knew Sakura was dead.
Ooh.
And because the bottle of poison had rolled near the doorway.
That's when you picked up the bottle, right? I was too shocked to notice anything, and Kyoko was busy checking the body.
And the more I think about it, the more I realize how unusual your actions were.
I have to go get them, yeah. I have to go get the others. Yep, on shaky legs, she left the room.
You said you were going to go get everyone else. But your real intention was to go to the chem lab and switch out the containers, wasn't it? Once you were at the chem lab, you headed straight to the section where the protein powder was kept.
Which explains
There,
the footsteps.
you took the powder and poured it into the bottle of poison you'd grabbed from the rec room. When you left the lab, all you had was the empty protein can. Thinking about it like that, the footprints make perfect sense.
When you were done, you gathered everyone together. And once you were back in the rec room...
Got everything.
While everyone else was focused on Sakura, you quietly placed the can on the ground.
Wow. I was wondering why
Honestly,
Byaku was getting all flustered
you
because
should
he
have
probably
noticed.
didn't know what was going on.
You should have been the first one to run up to Sakura's lifeless body. The Hina I know never would have left her side in a situation like that.
So, Sakura committed suicide. In order to hide this fact, Hina undertook a series of actions to undermine the investigation. As long as you could disguise the truth, you didn't care if we blamed you for her death. That's why you didn't bother to get rid of such obvious evidence, right? The footprints in the powder and the bottle of poison? Vital pieces of evidence, and yet...
So you're saying Hina consciously deceived us to make it look like she killed Sakura?
No! No! I killed her! I did it!
That's enough, Hina. It's over.
It's not! Nothing's over!
It is! Actually, no. You're right. We have to end this properly.
Story time. Okay. Let's see. So Byaku was the only other person who didn't see it. I've got to figure out which one looks like she's leaving and which one looks like she isn't leaving. Okay, that's that. That's got to be that one. And that means this one is the last one. Story time.
The killer is you!
Let's see if this is right.
This case began when Sakura asked a number of people to meet her in the rec room. Specifically, those people were Hiro, Toko, and Byakuya. But one of them headed out a bit earlier than the others, Toko. She got there one step ahead of everyone else and looked around for a good hiding spot.
Yeah, I got him in the right order.
And she found it. She crawled into the locker to get out of sight. Then, from inside the locker, she saw Sakura enter the room. Next to arrive was Hiro. When he got there, he mistakenly thought Sakura was going to try to kill him, so he panicked. Without thinking, he grabbed a nearby Monokuma bottle and attacked Sakura with it. Thinking he'd killed her, he hastily began covering up his crime. He took a magazine from the table and forged a dying message from Sakura. To that end, he wrote down a name. Toko. By writing her name, he was hoping to pin the murder on her.
Sakura got
But of
just
course,
abused.
Toko had witnessed the whole thing. So as soon as the coast was clear, she jumped out of the locker and hid the magazine on the shelf with all the others. But in her rush, she made one little mistake. She put the magazine back upside down. Soon after, she watched as Sakura slowly opened her eyes. She also saw the blood dripping off Sakura's head and fainted. This caused her personality to switch back over to Genocide Jack. When she woke back up, her second personality also saw the blood-soaked Sakura. And she freaked out.
This is
And
awful,
just like
to be fair.
Hiro,
She got beaten up
grabbed
twice.
another Monokuma bottle and attacked her. This explains why there were 2 wounds on Sakura's head. Assuming Sakura really was dead this time, she set about disposing of the evidence. She gathered up the broken Monokuma bottle shards and the queen chess piece. And that explains how Sakura was attacked twice with the same type of weapon. But even after those 2 blows, she was still alive. So then, what was Sakura's actual cause of death? It was the poison that Sakura herself got from the chem lab. She turned the rec room into a true locked room scenario, and then drank the deadly mixture.
But why?
And there, she took her final breath.
Yeah, but why?
Later on, the rest of us discovered that her body was in there. We had to smash the door's window to get inside. But someone already knew what had happened, knew that she had committed suicide. And that same someone quietly snatched the bottle of poison from off the ground. And while nobody was looking, replaced it with an empty protein can. They did all this specifically to place all the suspicion on themselves, in an attempt to guide the trial to a false conclusion. And the one who went to all that effort...
I think I know why she did it.
was you, Hina. That's the full truth of the case. Sakura took her own life, and you claim to be the killer to hide that fact. Isn't that right?
That's what happened? But, Makoto, how did you manage to... How were you able to uncover the truth that even I couldn't discern?
Wah.
Huh?
Get with the times, bro.
Oh, I mean...
You still haven't realized? We don't all act according to calculations and cost-benefit diagrams. That's what makes us so complicated. That's what you don't understand. And that's why you couldn't solve this case.
Because you're a selfish
See?
bastard.
Didn't I tell you? When you dismiss other people's feelings, it'll always come back to bite you in the end.
I'm loving this. Not gonna lie, I'm loving this. That's fun. That's fun. No. A, B. Yeah, that's fine. I did quite well considering I had less B's than last time, so I'm proud of myself. Nice. Same points as last time.
Okay. I think we can all agree you made your point. Did you guys forget already? You still haven't voted yet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right. Yeah, how are we gonna vote?
You seriously forgot?
How are we gonna vote?
I can feel my energy draining out of me. Well, whatever. You don't really have a choice anyway. You just gotta do it. Maybe you don't want to, but please grab your lever and cast your vote. So, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
But Monokuma, Sakura killed herself, so how does this work? I was about to say, how does this work?
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
My entire existence!
Okay, we're done here.
What did you say?
So that's the whole truth, huh? I see. But there's still one thing I don't understand.
Come on.
Hina, why did you try to cover up what happened? If the truth hadn't come to light, you would have died along with the rest of us.
What are you thinking?
And yet you... Why did you do that?
Don't be mean!
Yeah, we almost died there.
What is this?
Because... that's exactly what I wanted. What? I mean, the reason Sakura died is because all of you pushed her into a corner. You all killed her. So that's why.
You should have been the one to die.
I couldn't let her be the only one that died.
What?
You didn't mean? You were gonna take all of us with you? We have to atone for our sins. Because everyone, even me, we all killed her. We all have to pay for our crimes.
What?
For serious? That's...
What is this?
You still don't understand? Then let me explain. Do you realize just how much despair Sakura was carrying with her when she died? Look at this. Such brutality has made me desperate. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hands. That's... I found it on the ground in front of the rec room. It's Sakura's suicide note. Suicide note? Thinking back, I should have seen it coming. It was right after Genocide Jack had attacked me. Sakura got mad and stormed out of the nurse's office. I ran out after her and... Sakura, calm down. You don't have to worry about me. I'm fine. I can't calm down. I don't care if I suffer for this. It's my fault after all. But now you're suffering because of me.
No forgiveness!
You tried to protect me, but because of me,
I can't forgive this!
my closest friend got hurt. Sakura, because of me, my friends are all going to kill each other. This is all my responsibility. Sakura thought she was responsible. She thought everything was her fault, which is why she wanted to find some way to get everyone to forgive her. So she asked to meet with them. You asked to meet with those three? You can't! Don't you see how dangerous that is? Don't worry, I just want to talk to them.
But...
Talk about what? Listen, don't do it. If they all gang up on you at once, even you...
Hina,
Please, don't think of things like that. They're not my enemy.
they're friends.
Sakura? She clearly believed. She completely believed in all of us. If you just talked to her, you would have understood. She was a friend to all of us. And yet...
Why?
And yet... You trampled all over her feelings, and then you did the unthinkable. No, that was just a misunderstanding.
What are you saying?
Don't stand there and call it a misunderstanding. She believed in you, and you wouldn't even listen to what she had to say. Without asking a single question, you tried to kill her.
I won't forgive you.
Do you have any idea how desperate she was, seeing you act like that? That's what her suicide note means. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hand.
Why?
That's how far you pushed her.
Huh?
Sakura, what happened to you?
Hina.
She's so... You came. Wait right here, I'll help you out.
Hina.
Huh?
I'm so glad I got to meet you. I'm gonna be normal for this, because I'm just in shock. What's wrong, Sakura? Why are you talking like that?
I have a favor to ask.
Huh?
A favor?
Some protein.
Could I ask you to... Yeah, you got it. Just hang on, I'll be right back. That was the last conversation I had with her. I went to the chem lab to get the protein she asked for, and when I got there, I saw the powder. That's when I realized. I saw that someone had taken something from the poison shelf, Sakura. I ran back to the rec room as fast as I could, but by the time I got there, it was already too late. Sakura!
Please!
Let me in. Please open the door.
Why? Why?
Why did she have to die? Oh my god. She had weaknesses just like any other person. If she got cut, she bled. If someone hurt her, she felt it. That's weakness. That's normal. And yet...
Why?
You all blamed her. I tried to protect her and I suffered for it. And that just added to the weight she had to carry. And I didn't even realize it. Hina. We all killed her. All of us. We pushed her into a corner and we murdered her.
Why?
People like us shouldn't be allowed to live. And that's why you tried to lead us astray. You did your best to make us arrive at the wrong conclusion during the class trial. Sakura died hating all of us. I wanted to free her of her regrets. But even that got found out. In the end, I wasn't able to do anything for her. I could never face her after this.
Hey! Hey!
I'm sorry to interrupt right when you're about to deliver the final tear-jerker. I can't talk, but
Hey!
it's just taking so long. I'm about to fall asleep over here. I mean, do you really think you have any idea what Sakura was actually thinking when she died?
What is this?
What did you say? Everything you just said is nothing but your interpretation, right? Your own opinion on what her suicide note meant.
What are you saying?
Of course I know what she was thinking, because her and me...
In other words...
Well, what I'm really trying to say is...
Yes, indeed!
Don't you think the entire foundation is shaky? What if it was really like this?
What the heck?
Is that?
Of course!
Isn't it obvious?
Yep.
A suicide note. Sakura's suicide note. Well, what? But Hina already...
Too bad!
Oh, I wrote that one. It was all me, baby. You cheeky bastard.
It's true!
This one, Sakura addressed to Hina and put it in her room.
Huh?
What? Then you lied to me?
Unbelievable.
Oh, don't say lie. It makes it sound so dirty. I just thought I'd liven things up a bit.
Well now.
I can't help it if you totally took my little scribbles at face value. It didn't even have Sakura's signature on it. You filthy little...
Damn it!
I am not filthy. I didn't do anything.
Pum!
Did I falsify evidence? Did I affect the outcome of the class trial? The case played out between you and you alone. You were the ones jerking each other around.
Phew!
Heck, even if the will had factored in, it still would have been between you guys.
Shing!
So, what's the problem? This is all part of the production process. Okay, and scene. Cut.
And?
So then, what did she write in her real suicide note?
What are you gonna do?
I'm glad you asked. For your benefit, I shall read it using my melodic, angelic, harmonic narrator voice that I currently don't have right now because I can't even read my own sentences.
Hey! Hey!
But you know, haven't you ever been curious about the whole suicide note thing? Who came up with the idea of leaving a note when you kill yourself in the first place?
But hold on.
And isn't it just so unfortunate? Killing yourself is just so final, you know? You can never hear the rest of their story. The truth is lost in darkness. Gives me the willies.
Enough already.
Could you get on with it, please?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, geez, talk about buzzkill. All right, here we go. Ahem. My good friend, Hina, I'm gonna talk normally. There's something I have to tell you. I hate to do it like this, but you need to know. This is my final wish.
As you know, I've been giving information to the one who's imprisoned you here.
It was our first night in this strange school that the mastermind came to see me.
You see, the mastermind took control of my family's dojo and demanded I become their tool.
Ooh. You might not see the importance of a dojo, but my family has watched over it for over 300 years. In hell, 300?
I couldn't let it be destroyed under my watch. So even if it meant my own life, I had to protect it. That's how I saw things.
However, that was my greatest weakness. And because of that, I made the mistake of giving in to the mastermind.
And what the mastermind wanted from me was nothing less than murder.
They were probably worried that until the first murder had happened, nothing would move forward. But what neither the mastermind nor I expected was the incident involving Sayaka. At that point, the plan changed. The mastermind told me to hold off, to wait until we reached another stalemate.
However, as I lived here with all of you, as I lived here with Hina, my resolve began to weaken.
Watching everyone fight with such despair, trying so desperately to stay alive, I saw the weakness in my own heart, the mistake of succumbing to the mastermind. And more than anything,
I cannot betray those who would call me their friend.
that's how I came to feel. So that's why Sakura...
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Of course, because of that I decided to reveal her secret, which made everyone else hate her. Her decision to stay true to all of you led directly to all of you hating her for it. Ironic, isn't it? Or maybe it's oxymoronic. Or just moronic.
Of course, I understand if you all hate me. All of this is because of my own weakness.
I'm perfectly willing to accept whatever attack you may want to make on me.
So this is my atonement for betraying you. That's what I had in mind.
But unfortunately, that's not enough. This won't end with just me accepting your hatred.
My own situation has started having an effect on more people than just me. Which is exactly what the mastermind wanted when they revealed my betrayal.
My betrayal brought suspicion, disharmony. The mastermind knew that eventually it would escalate into someone murdering someone else.
Of course, I'm still responsible for that as well.
I have an obligation to get this situation under control, and to fulfill that obligation I've decided to do as the mastermind has commanded. I will do as I was told and commit murder.
But I've decided the one I'm going to kill is myself.
If the mastermind demands that I kill someone, then that someone will be me. then my dojo will be safe, and above all else, none of you will have to kill anyone. When I die, the source of conflict among you all dies with me. For that, I'm willing to give up my life. Holy cow, Sakura!
If it can save you, then sacrificing my own life could have no greater meaning. Whatever you think of me, please know that you are all my most treasured friends.
Oh my god. I've never had people like you in my life.
Huh?
Then Sakura didn't feel cornered. She didn't die hating us.
No way!
She wanted to stop us fighting, to protect us.
Correct.
She didn't end her own life because she was weak. Quite the opposite, in fact. She was strong, too strong. That's why she killed herself. She chose death for herself in order to protect the rest of us. To sacrifice so much, no normal person could do that.
However,
It was only her limitless strength that made it possible.
Finally, Hina, I want to apologize to you especially.
The reason I didn't tell you any of this is because I knew you would try to stop me. I'm really, truly sorry, but please don't be sad. If I can thwart the Mastermind's plans, if I can keep you from killing each other, that's enough for me. This is the path that I have chosen. This is the only way I have left to distinguish myself. And you can use this note to bring the class trial to a quick end. I'm so sorry to ask you to do something so unpleasant, but I have to leave the rest to you. Please talk to Byakuya, Toko, and Hira on my behalf. I can't tell anyone about my plan while I'm alive, but I wanted you to understand why I'm doing this. In the end, though, I hope to show myself through actions and not words. Hopefully, then they'll see.
I never saw you as my enemy. You were only ever my friend, who I wanted to help as much as possible. Hina, whatever it takes, survive. Survive along with everyone else. No matter what, just survive.
Wow.
But
This is... I didn't understand how she felt. Not at all. I thought we were close and still...
What are you gonna do?
But in the end, all her meddling was, like, totally pointless.
Uh-oh.
She died so you guys wouldn't try to kill each other, but you almost ended up doing it anyway. Thanks to you, her death had no purpose at all. In fact, it was because of her stupid meddling that the rest of you nearly bit the big one.
Too bad.
She deserves all the blame. Everyone blame her. Go ahead, she deserves it. Now then, the next victim has been decided. What do you mean next victim? Nobody here blames anyone.
Huh?
First of all, you're in the wrong for tricking Hina with that fake suicide note. And plus, Sakura's death wasn't a waste.
Say what?
Because she made us remember. We're not enemies that hate each other. We're friends who need to work together.
You know?
Damn straight. This is all because of our misplaced hatred.
Well,
I don't blame her. I can't blame her. Nobody can blame Hina either.
Ooh.
Whether or not there was a spy never really mattered because the one who we needed to destroy is you, nobody else.
What? What do you want?
That's not how this is supposed to go.
How strange.
But anyway, are you sure about that? This killing game is a competition between all of you, remember?
Hey!
Your enemy is each other. He's absolutely right about that.
Phew!
Ah, lovely Byakuya, you understand, don't you? This is life or death elimination match. The only way to survive is to win. There can be no doubt that those are the rules of the game. Which is why I am bowing out of the game. Excuse me, wait, what?
Huh?
Naturally.
Sakura and Hina were both willing to sacrifice their own lives to deny the reality of the game. Thanks to them, it would appear the others have cast aside their fear for this game.
Don't make me repeat
There's
myself.
no point in participating in a game which has lost that sense of excitement, which is why I will no longer be participating in it. What? What is going on here? Now I only have one thing to look forward to.
It's all clear now.
And that is to heap the harshest possible punishment onto the one who thinks they can control me. But Byakuya, does this mean... Don't misunderstand. He's helping us. I haven't been moved by some thoughtless sentimentalism, if that's what you're thinking. Wherever Master goes, I go. And if the mastermind turns out to be a guy, maybe I can catch on fire. Everyone.
Hey,
Well, now can you say that Sakura's death had no meaning? How boring. But nothing good can come of this. I'm still gonna be the one having the fun time.
What the heck?
The fun time? Anyway, let's forget about that good-for-nothing backstabber and get on back on track.
You want me to punish you guys?
It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Punishment time.
What?
Wait, but Sakura was technically the killer, right? And she's dead. You're not gonna...
But...
Is it me?
Wrong.
Oh, heavens no. Just because the Blackened is dead doesn't mean I can just sub in whatever old student I want. Didn't I tell you? I'm very particular about the Bear Times 1 rule.
Listen up.
But I spent so much time preparing my special punishment, it'd be a shame to let it go to waste.
Yahoo!
So for my special punishment, I've prepared a special guest. A special guest?
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
What? No! I totally forgot about... Oh my god. No! I can't believe I forgot. I was just so caught up in the case. Oh, alter ego, no! Not sure that's how a digger works. Wait, you turned it into a sphere. And then you put your stamp on it. Of course you did. Alter ego, no. I mean, she was plugged into the network. How are you supposed to not notice that? You...
Oh, no!
You suck, man! You turned him into a mangled hunk of junk! Phew. That really took it out of me. Maybe I'll go and grill up a plate of chicken. After all, they say for post-workout grub, chicken's where it's at. And I'm all about the grilled goodness. Fried, boiled, give me a break. The color, the smell, the succulence, grilled is where it's at.
So,
I realize how dangerous it could be. But still, I have to do this.
but
I'm scared, but I can handle it. I don't really understand why, but
still.
when I think about everyone else, my courage starts to grow. You might think I'm just some inhuman AI, but it's true. So, it's okay.
I'm gonna do my best.
If it's for the sake of everyone else, I won't be afraid. Alter Ego's words raced through my heart and soul, and my disbelief gave way to raw anger. The anger turned to fury, black and muddy and boiling over. It bubbled up through my body, quickly overflowing and shooting out of my mouth. How dare you? That was my friend. How dare you kill him?
What's the matter?
You were friends with a laptop? That's pretty pathetic. What's next? Friends with a basketball? Shut the hell up! He wasn't just a laptop, he was my friend. And you killed him. Is that what you call animism? Where a soul dwells within all things, even like laptops? Well, you can call it whatever you want. Bottom line is, it got in my way. It was trying to find things out, all sneaky.
just as I thought.
So, you finally noticed him.
Actually...
Finally? No. I knew about him from the very beginning. I knew Chihiro was doing something with the laptop, and I knew you were using it to analyze data. I knew exactly how it was all gonna play out from the start. What?
What are you thinking?
You knew, and you were still cocky enough to let us take the plunge?
Yep.
Well, I mean, the data in that laptop, it was, I guess you could call it a gift from me to you.
Phew.
Or maybe it was more like a reward in honor of you being able to unlock something so difficult.
Hey,
So, of course, I didn't care if you got to access it. But sneaking into the network was just too personal. So I had to do a little, reformatting.
I want to be able to help.
I want to work as hard as everyone else so that we can all get out of here. Alter Ego wanted to fight for us. He wanted to help at the risk of his own life, and for that, he was killed. Yeah, the punishment time has made me feel a billion times better.
very nice.
Experiencing a meaningless death is so soothing. It makes me remember that every low can get even lower. No, his death wasn't meaningless either. Everybody who's died so far, the deaths of each and every one of our friends, they all make us strong. I swear to God, someday you will pay for this.
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Holy moly, you're super mad, like, just unreasonably upset.
Well?
Okay, time to bring things to a close. Oh, but before that,
Uh-huh.
I need to read the postscript.
What?
Postscript?
Yep.
There's still a little bit more left of Sakura's note.
Huh?
Do I have your attention? Okay then, here we go.
Hello.
Prepare your ears for the dulcet tones of yours truly. I knew what that word was. One other thing, Hina, there's something I'd like you to tell the others. Hopefully it will act as a clue to help you unravel the mystery of this school. What? A clue?
Hina.
I've spoken with the mastermind on and off and on the whole time I've been here, so I've learned one thing, which is the mastermind has done something to us. What? I think what they've done is... Oopsie daisy, that was a close one. Another word and we would have been heap dip into spoiler territory.
Too bad.
Okay, I don't want to ruin the surprise, so Bug Club is dismissed for today.
What? You can't just stop at the most important bit?
It makes your brain rumble and tumble, huh? It makes you so mad you don't even freaking know, huh?
You guys?
That's the whole point, stupid. It's to get back at all of you for hardening your resolve. Fine, but at least Sakura's note. Like I'd ever let any of you greaseballs have it.
Huh?
But
Too bad.
it sucks for you, loser.
Hmm?
Wait, what's this?
What?
What is it now?
What?
There's one last line left in the note. And let me just say this to the mastermind. I'm not going to lay down and die. I will fight you, you bastard, no matter what. And that's seriously it. Wow. Huh, wow, what a stubborn loser. Huh. She won't lay down and die? She'll fight you? Well, whatever. Who cares what some dead musclehead has to say?
Well?
Okay, I'm out of here. You guys should try and get some rest, you know? And maybe take some time to reconsider how you approach this school life of yours. And you sure you don't want to graduate? Can you really cut free from the regrets of the outside world? Think about that. Think long. Think hard. Those were his parting words to us before disappearing. What was that all about? Sakura's final message, her last clue to help us solve the mystery of this school? The mastermind did something to us? Kyoko said something like that before, didn't she? It was after Celeste's trial was over.
You.
What did you do? What did you do to my body?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Answer me, what did you do to my body? The mastermind did something to our bodies? What are they saying the mastermind did? What did the mastermind do to us? Oh, I mean, did the mastermind plan a bomb in us or something? And if we try to leave the school, a sensor goes off? And the bomb explodes? I've seen stuff like that in movies and comics and stuff, so it's totally not unheard of. No, I feel awful just thinking about it. I can't afford to acknowledge thoughts like that.
Yo,
So, the class trial is over and Monokuma's gone.
but
So, now what do we do?
Yes.
What else is there other than to head back up?
Oh,
yeah, okay, let's get out of here. But I am... Hina must still feel responsible. Dial back that ego a bit, girl. The kind of mystery someone like you could pose is absolutely no threat.
Not possible.
I would never have lost to that kind of challenge. What are you talking about? Kyoko and Makoto are the ones that figured everything out.
Stop talking.
Shut up. Seriously, I'm sorry. How many times do you plan to apologize? How about you make that the last one? I haven't reached a point where I need someone apologizing to me more than once.
Sorry.
Okay, I see what you mean. Then I'll try. That totally wasn't normal, right? Did she just capture his flag?
No, 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 no!
I cannot suffer the existence of someone who would disturb the romance between me and Master.
Huh?
What are you talking about? That's absolutely not what's happening here. Why would I ever go for a sleazeball like him?
What did you say?
Sleazeball?
What the heck?
That's right. I called you a sleazeball because you are a sleazeball.
I see.
Apparently you still have a death wish.
Ah.
Oh, more biting sarcasm? No wonder you don't have any friends.
No, 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 no!
Hey, stop fighting with Master. You're making me jealous. I want the abuse. Give and take. Me! I guess it's not so easy for everyone to act like friends. Well, that's just how it is for now. Wow! Another long one. And so Sakura's class trial came to an end and we returned to the world of Hope's Peak Academy. But the story wasn't even close to over. Time kept marching on. We all went back to our rooms, and before long, night snuck up on us.
This is a school announcement. It is now 10 p.m. As such, it is officially nighttime. Soon the doors to the dining hall will be locked, and entry at that point is strictly prohibited. Okay then. Sweet dreams, everyone. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Holy cow. Nighttime descended and pulled me down along with it, down into sleep. I couldn't remember the last time I'd fallen into such a deep sleep, but the night still wasn't over for me. A voice. I could hear a voice. What? Wake up. Wake up? Huh? The voice dragged me from deep slumber into hazy half-consciousness. My eyelids were like lead.
Kyoko?
Huh?
Yes, it's me.
Huh? Kyoko?
I said yes.
So Kyoko's here.
Wait, what? What the hell are you doing in my room? In a flash, I was wide awake. What are you doing here?
It's true.
I'm here to wake you up. Oh, I see. Wait, but my door. It was unlocked. You're unbelievably careless. It was unlocked? Are you serious?
Hey.
Always. And you don't have to overreact like that every time you're surprised. What time is it?
Correct.
3 o'clock. In the morning, of course. It's 3 a.m.? Why was Kyoko waking me up at this hour? I don't know, but we're gonna leave it as a plot twist. Plot twist, well, you know what I mean, cliffhanger. Oh my god, same! Oh my god, so much is happening! Flap and fan like an amazing... Oh, this game is getting so good. I can't believe I'm only halfway through. Holy cow. So... kind of had an idea Sakura was going to commit suicide there. Towards the end, I mean, for a bit, I was actually worried that Byakuya had done something, but then as it went on, it was just because he couldn't kind of comprehend what was going on, and he was just like, no, I'm supposed to know everything, I'm melting. So that kind of made sense. Still pretty sad though. It's just unfortunate what happened, and my stream is dead. It's dying. I do apologize. For some reason it has dropped considerably. You will be listening to me blabber on like this for a bit. I don't know whether it's gone or not now. No, it's just broken. Anyway, right. Hopefully it'll fix itself in a short moment. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I am gonna go to bed because it is late now. When I do these ones, they're like 3 hours. It's ridiculous. Right. I will leave you all to the rest of your day. Have a fabulous time. And we will come back to some more Danganronpa because it is clear it is not over yet and things are only just gonna get more interesting. Have a great time, everyone, and I'll catch you then. I will see you on Sunday. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.